You're listening to Cain, Randy, and Brooke on Scratch the Vinyl.
Scratch the vinyl.
Hey, everybody. Scratch the Vinyl listeners. Welcome back to the show. We are so glad that you made it back. We're not surprised you're back. You guys just keep on coming back like our crazy Aunt Irene or something with her with Jello salad and everything else. Why you guys come back, we never know, but we are glad that you did. So I got to tell you guys, I went to the first Husker game and it was a blast. I don't want to get too sports heavy on this music show, but there is a tie into what I'm saying. Uh, there's nothing cooler. I think the new tradition at Memorial Stadium, the end of the third quarter, beginning of the fourth quarter, light show, drone show. It's freaking awesome. It's people holding up cell phones. There's cheerleaders going nuts. There's pyro. There's all this stuff. But the thing that I felt was the coolest is when they play Thunderstruck and it just goes absolutely berserk. Like it's just there's something if you haven't been, and I know most of you probably have, but if you haven't been, like my wife hadn't until just this week, to see that show, you really don't know what I'm talking about yet. But it was a blast. So I'm gonna bring on because I think he might have went, but I'm not sure. But he goes to a lot of the games. He's definitely seen the show. I'm gonna bring on the King of Sting, the God of Thunder, the entertainment man, when it comes to this town, he is the Godzilla of entertainment. He's taking names, everybody, and he's knocking down buildings. Randy, welcome to the show. Did you go to the game?
I did not go to the game, but I did watch the video on that. And of course, the drones, that's just amazing what they do to put out that light show. And of course, those night games, the stadium is absolutely rocking, and it's probably one of the best atmospheres in all of college football for sure.
When I've been to other stadiums, I've been to Kinnick Stadium, I've been to other stadiums, and they don't have it like that. You know what I mean? They use AC/DC songs in different ways. And I mean, to be honest with you, I feel, and this is just my personal opinion, AC/DC gets you hyped all the time. I mean, there's just something about the band. It's the rhythm, it's everything about it can get me hyped with anything. But you've seen those shows, Randy. I mean, you've seen the light shows now. It gets you pumped, doesn't it? It gets everybody. People actually stay for the light show before they clear out at a 60 some to nothing blowout.
I think that's probably what's most amazing about the fans for Nebraska is that they literally will the whole stadium was still packed at the end of a 68 to nothing score, but they were just as rocking as ever. Just it's the atmosphere. That's what you want, man. I mean, this is what the best fans in all of college football do, man. They support their team to the very end.
Well, and earmuffs, Husker fans. I mean, truth time here. All right, I'm not actually a Husker fan, right? I mean, I'm an Iowa boy at heart. I know you're going to hate me for this, but don't because I support the Huskers when they're not playing the Hawkeyes, right? I live here, but I'm a Hawkeye fan. I was crying in my beer and pissing in my own soup and then drinking it because Iowa s the bed against Iowa State for the last 2 years. But you know what cheered me up was going with my uncle to the game. He has season tickets, and I just love the atmosphere of college football. It was a blast.
I wasn't gonna rub that in about the whole Iowa State thing, but I wasn't shocked that the little turnaround of losing at the last second to a field goal. When did that happen last? Oh yeah, you guys beat us last year that way.
Well, last year I had to watch it I was actually at the game and had to finish the game on the big screen as the whole crowd cheered as Iowa lost. And I wanted to go down to the urinals and drown myself, but or at least get a good drink, but instead I didn't. So it is what it is, man.
Hey, before we move on and bring our other host on, you said you wondered why who's still watched listening to the show and the aunt that brings the potato salad. Like, dude, we are killing it. We have nothing but great guests coming on the show right now. Everybody should be listening to Scratch the Vinyl.
Well, it's not a shock to me. No, it's the dirty ant that brings like the fruit salad. Nobody wants
Oh,
everybody wants a potato salad, but nobody wants like the cat hair fruit salad, Randy? Nobody.
Well, I think that is the segue to our other host. You want to talk about ants with fruit salad?
She is the ant. She scratches so many itches. I can't even mention it to you guys. She's the red-lipped lady. She's the witchy lady herself, and we are always glad to have her. I don't know. She just cheers me up just seeing her over on the other screen. It's Brooke Johnson, everybody. Brooke, welcome back.
Yo, yo, yo. I'm the aunt that brings the bean salad. My cousin knows what I'm talking about. Dude, nasty shit right there. I can't do bean salad. Come on now. I'd rather have the fruit cat hair salad. Anyway, I don't know. And no, I didn't watch the Husker game, but I heard all the fireworks go off and we were like 3 seconds behind on our TV. And so I'd hear it and I'd be like, we just made a touchdown. And I'd hear Jason go, what? And I, so I kind of gave it away. But talking about performance, so I've got to actually perform on a couple of or a few fields before. And it is, let me tell you, from that point of view, it is something that I will never forget. And we got to perform at a Sugar Bowl. We were right on the 50-yard line. It was phenomenal. It's so much fun to do that. I mean, but you also don't have somebody sitting beside you that's 2 inches away and they have a drink and their hot dog in your face, and you get to just perform and have fun. And kudos to everybody that's on that, doing all of that. I have mad respect for those people because it takes a lot of work to get that whole everything put together correctly. And there's no what is that where your boob falls out? We didn't have any of that stuff on, on the field, but we had to wear spandex and leather and I enjoyed it.
Well, that's a fantastic segue into what I believe is our guest. Brooke, you are a professional as always. This person who's our guest is a leather-clad gentleman who I can't stop looking at, and I bet you couldn't either if you went and saw him perform. He's with a massive band. You've seen him everywhere. You've seen him at the Rococo. You've seen him on every marquee in this town and really towns all over the country. And I think they've even performed, in different places throughout the world. So let's bring him on right now. We have from the band, not to be confused with Black Plague, it is Plack Blague, and it is our guest, Raws Schlesinger. Ross, how are you?
Thank you. Scratch the vinyl.
Man, dude, you pull off an unbelievable look. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I was talking to the other host before the show, and I had a chance to be in like what I perceived to be a vampire type band, which I dig. I love those type of bands, but they were all like wearing leather, and there's no way I was smashing this body into leather, but you pull it off, but not me, man. I was afraid I would be muffin topping that thing all the way to the bank. But I really want to know from you, how did you become the performer that you are, and how did you find the look that you, I mean, like, give us the journey that brought you to who you are today.
Ooh, well, thanks again for having me on this show. But I guess I've just always been a punk at heart. I've always been really into looks and punk fashion in that sense. And ever since I was a kid and discovering things like even Sid Vicious and the Sex Pistols and things, it was just always so like, I couldn't stop looking at it. It's just intrigued me so much. Just this kind of like weird kind of image and personality, and whether good or bad. And it just kind of stuck with me. I grew up skateboarding and I loved skateboarding fashion. So that doesn't really match with what I do now, but it's just so I've always just kind of like dressing up in weird ways and just kind of being an individual myself. I've always kind of felt like an outsider to the world and everything I've done and everything I've been part of. So I just try to make everything my own. But as far as Plack Blague goes, it's just, it started out as this like total joke, like not real band. We did it to just kind of like play weird shows. And actually our first show is in the window display of Zero Street Records downtown, which is now Gomez Art Supply. But we played it in the window on Halloween for 4 hours straight in 2001. And that was the first incarnation of the band. And actually, I used to just wear a suit, like a black suit, and like I would wear masks a lot, and I would just wear like this t-shirt cloth face mask, white mask at that time, and I would wear a mannequin head on my hand. That was like what you cut hair with in like uh, cosmetology school, and it just kind of kept progressing. And all of a sudden, I was always into like heavy metal and punk and leather and things like Judas Priest. Of course, is like my huge influence of my look. And to me, and it's even like Motley Crue, shout out the Devil era Motley Crue. When I was like 10 years old, I thought that was the coolest thing ever. So I grew up on heavy metal and hardcore and punk and stuff like that. So it's always kind of had an image. And as time went, I just kept kind of accumulating weird things. Like a friend would be like, here's this studded jockstrap. You should wear this. And I'd be like, okay. And here's this weird chaps I made. You should wear this. Okay. And after a while, you just kind of have a bunch of stuff. And then you kind of just become that after a while. So it's just a progression of what feels comfortable.
Well, I do want to point this out. We have the same necklace on.
Yeah.
Yeah, yours is a
I
little
did that
bigger.
because I knew you'd be wearing that.
Exactly. We can trade later.
Fashion queens over here.
That's right. That's pretty badass. I love that you can just, who gives a shit? You know, you just do your thing. You own it. It's so much fun to watch you do all of that. And your followers, I know you have tons of followers. So tell me about your, like, the experience with performing on stage, doing your thing, and then you have all these beautiful people out there. Do you have a lot of people that follow you around and like they look just like you? They're like, "Oh, I'm Ross," and they have all the, are you influencing a lot of people, I'm sure?
Yeah, I feel like the best thing, the best compliment I get as Plack Blague at shows from fans is like they come up to me and say, "Thank you so much for letting me be who I want to be, letting me come here, wear what I want, letting me feel how I want to feel, and just letting me be myself." And to me, that like means so much because Plack Blague is all about that. It's about being yourself. It's about being like queer and outspoken and just like it's in having a good time. And like it's so I appreciate when people like say nice things like that to me and say like, we love that you just bring out the best of people. And I think that's super important. And there's times where like, yeah, you'll get like a message from someone like, I'm coming to your show. I can't wait. And I'll be like, hey, well, make sure you say hi at the merch table or you come hang out or whatever. And they're like, oh no, you don't know who I am. And then like, you'll be on stage. All of a sudden that person's right in the front row, dressed exactly like me or dressed in full leather or like, I just love that too. So it's super cool to experience that and kind of develop your own little world too. But yeah, I have all sorts of people that like to come up to me at shows. Lots of people like to take pictures. Lots of people like to say hi. I like to do merch table duties a lot at shows. That's kind of how you get to meet your fans and hang out. And there's been weirdos. There's been really cool people. There's been like, people that want to, think they can just grab you or do whatever. And then there's just people that are like really shy and they're intimidated too. And I just feel like I'm just kind of a weirdo fun guy. So hopefully it's not intimidating, but it's just one of those things where it's cool to experience a fan base and like experience people that are excited to meet you and are excited to like be part of the Blague world too, because it does offer people to be themselves and it does allow people to just like feel good and have fun and enjoy a weird experience because Black Blague's all about being a little bit different and it really caters to different people. I've always felt like a different person, an outsider to everything, like I said. And it's just cool to experience people that like want to bond with this entity in this life that I created. Meeting people all over the world, eventually you're always going to run into someone from Nebraska. Anywhere in the world.
So Ross, tell me, so is this like an alter ego for you when you're on stage? I mean, is it like is that your other true self? And then, I mean, fill
To
us
an
in here.
extent. Yeah, to an extent, yeah. I just really like performing. I've been performing live music since I was 13 years old, and in all sorts of different bands. And I just really like showing off. I'm kind of an exhibitionist. I like kind of just being on stage. Like there's this cool Duran Duran video called Girl Panic, and it's with like all these supermodels acting as Duran Duran. And one of them's talking about there's no better drug than being on stage. And honestly, I feel that because there's just so much weird energy that comes on you. You can kind of become your own. I would say it's like kind of an alter ego because like maybe I wouldn't get naked in front of a bunch of people in a room, or I might not just like scream my head off or jump and like fall on my face or my head or something. But it's just kind of me expressing myself to the most I can. And just like I said, I just love being on stage. So it doesn't really feel like an alter ego or like another personality. It's just me being on stage and enjoying what I do.
You have played internationally. You have large theaters, dive bars, art galleries, even on children's TV shows. But it also says dingy basements. Here's the thing. I hope it's not a children's show and a dingy basement, right? Or maybe
No,
it's two,
unfortunately
I don't
not.
know. Yeah, okay. Dang it. But you have performed internationally. So where are the places you've been? What did you like the most? The large theaters, the dive bars? I know they all bring something different, but tell us your experiences on all of those.
Yeah, like in the last few years, especially, we started traveling internationally in 2019 when we linked up with this band called Horror from LA. It's like HO9909. And they asked us to do this big 3-week European tour with them. And that band's like big and famous. So like shows were like 300 to 500 people a night, playing in really nice venues. We lived on a bus. This is our first bus experience. So that was like super exciting and super like intimidating too. But we managed ever since then, we've done like 16 different countries around the world. And it's just crazy to experience like all sorts of just different places and cultures in this, especially venues. Like a huge venue can be really cool and fun. A really weird dive venue can be really fun. It just, the energy that certain places bring is what it's all about. I do appreciate like a really nice, clean music venue. So like one that kind of caters to you. Sometimes I just want person backstage will hold my hand and guide me to stage. But then there's sometimes where you like play in a bar and there's actually not even a door on the bathroom, or there's no changing room. So you're naked on the sidewalk changing into your stage gear. And that can feel a little embarrassing at sometimes, but that's just part of the job. And it's like everyone I know and all like popularities and like height or whatever through music, they kind of still have to do that every once in a while. You just never know. But I don't. It's just I like it all, and it's interesting to see, especially when you're playing night after night after night, how much it just changes, but how much it also can just be the exact same thing. Because it'll be one of those things where my mom will call and be like, "How was the show?" And I'll be like, "Just kind of felt like another show last night. Nothing bad happened, so that means it's good."
And yeah, it
um,
doesn't really matter the venue sometimes. It's just the vibe. It's the people. It's where you're
totally.
absolutely hell yeah. Well, I know you shared the stage with a few people. And I was kind of looking some stuff up, and I know a lot of our, listeners, but Charlie XCX, like everybody knows about them. Like you shared a stage with her, like there's also it's Psych TV. Isn't that like kind of where the acid rock came from? And I mean,
Yep.
you literally got to share the stage with all these people, but there's so many people saying, I got to share the stage with Plack Blague, you know?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I had to really think about that because I didn't want to say Candy and Rain, my hosts here that are helping me out. I do that a lot. I do want to talk about that title though. Did you accidentally say it backwards like I always do? Or where did
Black
that come?
Leg.
Yeah.
Um, I don't even remember why it came up. It was just sort of like there at a time in Lincoln, there were kind of a lot of bands kind of doing like play on words things. And it was just one of those I don't even remember where it came from, to be honest. It just happened. And it just kind of worked out like that.
So, Ross, what I got to know is you got to fill me in with what was the scene like, for what you were doing here in Lincoln. What kind of, how did that develop here in Lincoln? What was that like in the early days?
Well, I started coming to like punk shows and underground shows in the mid to late 90s. And like I was just so into underground music and bands that were touring and like uh just kind of like anything really extreme and hardcore and stuff like that. And so there was always kind of a punk scene and underground scene going on in Lincoln with house shows and rental halls. And like we would rent like Havelock Social Hall or Antelope Park Shelter or Van Dorn Park Shelter, weird basement shows. And so there was kind of like always a weird punk scene going on. And then like around 99, I took over booking a lot of these touring bands. So I was kind of like the booking person in Lincoln for a good 15 years or so. And I just kind of liked help not only just take the scene with what I was given in a weird way, but I kind of developed it into myself because I'm into just different kinds of music. I'm not just into punk music. I'm also into pop music and hip hop and noise and death metal and grindcore. And but at that time I was like super into grindcore and like underground extreme music. So I was just booking bands like crazy, and it just sort of like built a little world of my own, and just kind of the community that wanted to be part of like a punk scene too. And so it just was kind of like people just enjoying weird stuff and like wanting to see new music and experience people in bands and stuff. And so there was just constantly bands coming around here. And so Plack Blague just ended up being part of that, and just kind of like we just threw ourselves right into it and everyone seemed to like it. We were kind of just like a noise style band at first, which was kind of dressing up weird and just screaming really loud to like indecipherable beats and like things you couldn't really dance to. But I felt like the scene was just like into anything different and punk and weird.
That's crazy because I was doing a big underground scene kind of up till about 99. So I was kind of wondering how this had kind of taken off from that point. And well, I'm glad to see that you were keeping the torch alive for a lot of that underground scene.
Yeah, I was in a band called Wastoid that started in like 1999, and we were around for a good 13 years. And we were kind of the band that booked all the touring bands and played all the shows. And we did a lot of touring and released some records throughout time. And that was like a big part of like helping create Plack Blague, because the bass player of Wastoid was also in the original incarnation of Plack Blague. So it just kind of was like, we just all did our weird little things. And Plack Blague, honestly, at the beginning was just a joke band. We didn't really mean it to be anything. And eventually it just had a mind of its own and took off into its own world.
Yeah, well, that's my tie to you then is Wastoid. I used to watch you guys all the time. I used to go to house shows, all the shelter shows. Some of my best friends, they had a house on 18th and 18th and P right there by the firefighters area. And we would have house shows there that were nuts. So I guarantee that we rubbed elbows at some of these shows, man.
I actually lived right next door, so it could have been my house. 18th Street and right there was like a kind of a block of punk houses at that time in the mid 90s into the early 2000s.
That was my biggest influence as a musician. I'm going to be honest with you. It wasn't all the records I listened to. It was hobnobbing with all you guys and watching you guys do it at the level that you guys did, and wanting to be you guys, loving the scene and everything. Man, you just made my day, knowing that you were right there. You were probably at the same shows as me. We were walking back and forth from the houses.
Probably, yeah.
What an amazing time to be alive, man.
Yeah, even Wastoid, we recorded our first album in that house I lived at on 18th and P, and it's just I have a lot of memories with that. Now it's just a bland college apartment. So
Oh my God. So my son, he moved out and he went, and it's like right around 18th and P, like maybe it's, I don't know, it's right in that area. And I go, I have been here a lot. I know
yeah.
the area very well. And my son's like, well, how? And I'm like, we'll explain it later.
Yeah.
But yeah, your
You mean
mom.
you were partying at the house with the car on fire across the street?
Oh, yes. And I'm like, do you know this, your basement? I've been in your basement. And he's like, and I'm like, never mind. I was just bringing cookies over to the neighbors.
Yep.
That's
I
pretty
remember
funny.
that. Those were really good cookies.
Aren't they? And lasagna, cookies. I told you I've been doing this for years. But Kane's right. I think at some point we probably all partied together.
Yeah,
I'm
I feel like Lincoln is definitely like a small city for sure. Like it gets smaller to me every year. And the older I get, the more everybody's just been intertwined. The people that have stuck around here anyway. you all have kind of met or in some way or another, which I kind of like too.
Yeah, no, it's true. I was always into punk, and it was hard to find places to go see it. And if you didn't know somebody to know somebody to go to those underground shows, you didn't know what to do. So I guess that's kind of why I was asking you kind of how you got involved in the scene. And guess what? We all had a brush with that area. So
Oh yeah.
these full circle moments happen all the time on this show, and I think it's crazy. And it's only because we all have this certain love for music, and you just want to find people that, you know, a little like-minded in what you're wanting to do. And that's crazy that this band that you started out as a joke has caught fire. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I think a lot of that too is in part of booking all these bands. I really created a network of people. So I grew up in the middle of nowhere, Nebraska, and in the 90s, I wrote everybody. I wrote every band, I wrote every artist, every skateboarder I liked. And it was like eventually people started writing back. And at the time, this was like before internet, of course. And writing was just how you communicated with people. That's how you learned about new underground things, especially. And there was a book called that Maximum Rock and Roll put out called Book Your Own Fucking Life. And it was kind of like a classified ads of like punk bands and venues and weird things in towns all over the world. And I just wrote every band that had like the funniest description or the most brutal extreme description. And so I still talk to a lot of those people and I still know a lot of those people. And I think that's what really helped Plack Blague in itself is when I took this out into the world as like a full-time thing and like a touring artist, I kind of knew a lot of people enough to get around. It was easy to book shows and it was starting to get asked to play shows. A lot of it was just because of all the networking through booking and writing and just being a fan of underground culture.
All right. We don't want to take too much time away from this awesome interview. So we're going to run the Elegant Sasquatch ad. We're not going to do the local roundup, but I am going to do what I perceive to be the show of the week, the lock of the week. That's not saying the other shows aren't great. That's all the time I have for this week. I've been sick and this is all I can muster up. So stick around for that. And then we will get back to our interview with Raws Schlesinger from Plack Blague.
Dude, last night was a rager. I literally don't remember anything. What happened and why do our beards smell so bad?
It all started when a Sasquatch came out of the woods. He was doing keg stands, he DJ'd the party for a while, he even brought a live skunk to hang out. It was epic. It was getting late when Sasquatch's skunk friend decided to spray his pungent odor everywhere. Now our beards smell like rotten eggs and trash.
Don't worry, friend.
Ah! Is that you, Sasquatch?
It's me, your boy Squatch. Have no fear, my nose-melting follicle friends. I have just what you're looking for to get the skunk stench out of those skunktified beards. The Elegant Sasquatch Beard Company has all sorts of balms, butters, oils, and washes to turn you from skunk to hunk in no time.
Oh, bro, this is a trip. I feel like I'm dreaming, man. I'm gonna go back to bed.
Well, pinch yourself now because you're not dreaming, my friend. I'm here to tell you about all the great things going on at the Elegant Sasquatch Beard Company.
Oh, tell me you have something to help us with these smelly beards.
Not only do I have something for that, but I have so much more. Head on over to elegantsasquatchco.etsy.com to check out the shop and look at all the different beard balms, butters, oils, face washes, and bundles that we have to offer. In addition to all of our great prices, if you mention the Scratch the Vinyl podcast with Scratch30 at checkout, you'll get an additional 30% off of your order.
Oh, man, this beard wash is amazing, and these oils smell so good I could drink it.
Oh, you foolish little human. That's not what they're talking about with hair of the dog.
But seriously, Squatch, these scents are amazing. I already smell better.
Well, on that note, it's time to grab another beer and, oh, it looks like our friend the skunk just arrived. It's time to party. I call dibs on the first game of beer pong.
All right, let's talk about that lock of the week. Like I said, man, I've been so sick and we might be kind of moving some things around. So this is my lock of the week. Like I said, this is not that the other shows aren't great, but this is a lock, I feel. So this is at 1867. This is on Saturday. It looks like this is an all ages show. $12 in advance, $15 day of. and it is 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. This is a post-game party, so you can go to the game, then you can go to this. It's a post-game punk party, actually, which sounds awesome. And it is with Static Radio Boulevard performing music by Green Day. They're doing a tribute to Green Day. They've got special guest Low Embers. And honestly, it just sounds awesome. Wake me up when September ends so that October can begin. But if I can't wake up for that and we're still awake and we're watching things and going to shows here in September, I can't think of a better show than that to watch a Green Day tribute. It's going to be awesome. So there's your lock of the week, everybody. Now let's get back to it with our guest, Raws Schlesinger from Plack Blague.
You feel like, I don't know how to explain this, but with art and music, sometimes we get to let go. Because I know like some of the screamo bands and the heavy metal and all of the followers, the fans, they're just the kindest people. They're just like the coolest people ever. And I think that art in every form, whether it's music, painting, whatever you do you think that that has helped you evolve as an artist to just kind of let go? And I really would love to know what you could tell other people that are struggling to let go and to be yourself, because you have helped a lot of people. And what is something you could tell someone, or just say, just come to my show and just chill or whatever. But what was something that was said to you to let you be who you wanted to be?
I was lucky enough to be raised by a family where like art and music was like cool and not different or weird. I had no censorship growing up. And to me, that was, I mean, I experienced a lot of weird stuff growing up, but like it really did shape who I was to just not have like, no, you can't do this. And I never really was told that. So also my dad taught me just to be confident. He built so much confidence in me, and my whole family did. Like, it's cliche almost sounding, but it's like that you can do whatever you want to do. And it was just like I had my teachers tell my parents that like he can do whatever he wants if he puts his mind to it. And I still believe in that. If it's something you want to do, just do it, because no one's stopping you. And the more you do it, the better you get at it. And the better you get at it, maybe the more people will start to understand it or like it or want to be part of it or just want to support. And that's a definite just words to live by for me. Just do it.
I love that, and I love your family. My dad always said too, as long as you're not hurting anyone or yourself, do it. Do what you want to do. Love what you're doing, and you inspire so many people. And I see that 100% in you. And we need more people and performers like you, because there's so much shit going on in this world right now that people need to just relax and say, let me be who I want to be. I'm not hurting anyone. I'm not doing, I just want to go have fun. And that's
Right.
exactly what you do. And I appreciate that. And I say that to all of my guests, that I feel that with them if they're doing that, because we need more of that. Our children need more of that. Just even like us middle-aged folk, we need more of that, and the love that you
Right.
give and your performance is phenomenal. And thank you for doing that. And that is why you've gone so big, because you don't give a shit in a sense of, let's have fun. Let's
Right.
just do, I want to do this. And I'm so like, you are like you're like my wardrobe. I just love it all. I want to come to your house and just like try some stuff on. I mean, that's cool. I know Cain and Randy said they wanted to.
Well, it smells really bad, so that's a word of warning.
Even better.
Yeah, thank you. Like I said, I've been taught nothing but confidence and just sticking with it and just doing things that, I love creativity and creative people. And so that to me is like a whole world in itself. And people that want to be creative and people that want to be free thinking and they want to be open minded to things. There's so much closed mindedness in the world, and there's so much people telling you what to do. And honestly, I hate that. And like, I don't want people telling me what to do. And so I've always done what I've wanted to on my own terms and my own rules, because like I said, I've always felt like an outsider of the world. Even as a queer kid, I felt outsider to like the gay world. As a punk, I've even felt outsider to that just because I just feel different to everything. And so just the push of confidence that I've had was just to like be yourself and create your own world. And that's just always been my goal. And I feel like that's what Plack Blague too is like, it is my little world and people recognize that. And I think that's why there is kind of a popularity to it, or there is like a rise to this project is like, it is to just like be creative and be interesting, but also be cool and nice. Everyone has their issues and everyone has their problems and moments of losing their minds and stuff like that. But like, it's just be cool to people. It's what I always try to say to everybody.
Reality is you're not alone. I mean, so many
Right.
people feel the same way, but they don't know how to go about, you know, finding themselves out, with other like-minded people. If you don't have venues or you don't have places with, you know, what are considered normal places to go. And that's what I love. I used to do the same thing when I used to love certain kind of music, but there weren't any venues for it. So I started creating it myself. I started
Exactly.
booking bands and tried to create that own scene for myself. It was kind of selfish, but nobody else was doing it. And then
Right.
here's what you find out. You find out all of a sudden the word gets out, and all of a sudden all these people start showing up, and you're like, see, I'm not as crazy as I thought. And you've taken that to the extreme because obviously you're real passionate about it. And I, looking at some of your videos and seeing some of the live shows, obviously your fans dig it too. And that's an inspiration to everybody, man.
Yeah. It's been wild. Like, Plack Blague, I never expected to like blow up like it did. And I still hope for it to blow up more. And that's the thing, is like, it's been a wild ride. I always tell people that like it has definite ups and downs. Living as a full-time artist is rough and money can be hard at times. And you just got to keep pushing for it. Even when you feel like you don't have any creativity left, you just got to keep going.
Well, I feel like we've talked about almost everything except for the thing, except for the music, man. We got to dive into that music right now because I'm going to be honest. The thing that I love about doing this show is not only getting to know the artist, but really diving into their catalog of music that they have. Like, I mean, that's my favorite part. I'm an obsessed person when it comes to music. Like, there isn't a moment throughout my day that music isn't playing. And I'm going to be honest with you, Ross. I've had a joy. I mean, just a blast listening to what you have out there. And so tell me about how you kind of got to this point. I mean, I don't even know how to put you in a genre necessarily. So tell me, like, I guess my biggest question to you would be, what genre would you say that you would fit into if you had to be put in a box? Which I know we all hate that.
Um, I like to call it hard leather disco. If anything, it's like industrial music. So electro industrial. I like to also be called like electro punk. I feel like it's got like an attitude and edge to it but it's like an electronic based thing. So yeah, I like to define, or I like to be genre, like hard to describe genre wise, but I feel like it's mostly like an industrial style project. It's definitely influenced by that, but I'm influenced by things like heavy metal and punk, but I'm also influenced by things like noise and industrial aspects and dance music too.
I get the aggressiveness of it all. I love the mixture of metal and the industrial thing. I even get kind of like a ambient techno vibe behind it too. Like, I used to listen to Aphex Twin back in the day a lot. You know, Richard D. James. I basically worshiped this guy for a long time, and just the noises he put together with Come to Daddy and all of that stuff. And I started listening through you, and I started to kind of get that feel to it. And it was so refreshing to me. It like put me back in a time that I kind of just kind of like boxed up a little bit, you know. And it's not that I don't like it. It's not that I don't listen to it. I just hadn't in so long. And now you've like opened up this whole world to me again. So I just love having you on as a guest. Not only do you have like an unbelievable vibe to you. I don't know if you believe in vibes or auras or anything like that, but like just seeing you and talking to you is making me happy. Like this is gonna get me through the day. So the music itself, man, I just have to say I love it all. I don't mean to be so. I know sometimes for the artists it's awkward when you praise them and then they got to be like, oh, oh, thanks, because it's awkward. But man, I just got to say what you guys are doing is a blast to listen to, and I think that the listeners of our show, if they haven't checked out Plack Blague, they're gonna enjoy it from start to finish. I suggest starting at the top and just working your way through all of it song by song.
I wish would be releasing more music all the time, and that's like probably my biggest downfall is I'm not releasing more music. But I have a new album in the works. I'm hoping to have that out this year yet, called Physical Education, and like it's been in the works for the last year, and I've already got like almost another full length worth of material after that, which I feel like is a more like a harder, edgier aspect of Plack Blague, where this last album I wrote is more like Plack Blague's version of a pop album. And it's just kind of like using my ideas and like my style, but kind of writing pop formula music. And in the last year, I've really been listening to songwriting a lot differently and a lot more like intently. And so that's kind of changed my songwriting in itself, is like, how do I just write songs? Because I've done everything from writing songs on my phone to like free apps to just taking a drum machine and blasting it through distortion pedals and just making like the sickest like rawest beats. And so I'm just kind of like a very DIY person. So I'm glad people are enjoying the music. Like I said, I wish there was more, and there's definitely a lot coming very soon.
Where, when, just maybe just like a little bit. Where can I want to go watch you live because I have only got to see you on the stupid phone with the videos. I know I saw you way back when, but I want to see you today. What's coming?
Yeah.
Anything?
I don't have any. Well, I guess for Nebraska shows, I'm playing in the waiting room next Saturday with this band Bib. They're an Omaha hardcore band. It's like an all-day hardcore show mixed with like electronic artists too. I'm also playing in Colorado Springs this weekend for What's Left Fest, which is like a huge punk metal electronic underground festival, but there's like 100 bands playing, and we play Sunday night. And then after that, it's just more out of town gigs back in Chattanooga, or first time in Chattanooga in October. And I was supposed to play with Cupcake, this hip hop artist, a few weeks ago, and the show got rescheduled to December 12th at the Bourbon Theater. So as of right now for Lincoln, your best bet would be December 12th at the Bourbon. I've been on kind of a bit of a break all summer.
If you ever do another video, can I like be a part of that shit?
Yeah, we're actually in talks of making some new videos.
Oh my God. Like, I'm
Real
not
soon.
kidding. Like, yeah, we have a joke that we have my OnlyFans page called Meat Feet. It's weird, but you just have the most fun aura about you. And I think I would love to be on one of your videos. I can wear a mask. You don't have to show my face or anything.
No,
Or
Brooke, we need to get you a leather black mask and just have your red lips sticking out.
Yeah.
Everybody will know it's you.
Yeah, with my saggy tits and my big feet. Hell yeah.
Just put a mustache on you.
Oh, I'd do it. Hell yeah, I
And
would.
chains. More chains.
Ooh, I like that. So many chains. You call me Alice.
I'd love to see Ross on Sesame Street or something. You know what I mean? Like, here comes Plack Blague walking down the street, and I just think it would be fantastic, man. I love the message that you have, where just be yourself. Like I say it in a joking manner, but I mean it too. Like, I think this is what our kids need to know, is that you can just be yourself, man. Like, Ross is a fine example of somebody who is just himself. He's exuding confidence. He's doing something, and I think that people should do more of that.
I agree.
Which is a weird segue out of OnlyFans, or you could just have an OnlyFans and walk through meat like like Brooke wants to.
Well, that should be an inspiration for Ross here for a song and a video with Brooke stomping her feet, like leather
I have
and
a
meat.
feeling that is way out of my budget.
Brooke,
we'll figure something out
Okay,
because
sweet.
we're gonna have. I have a band in with my sister. We want to call them ham wallets. I think we could like coincide with something here. Leather. Now that I'm older, we're gonna call it leather ham wallets.
Hell
Okay.
yeah. There it is.
Gonna get that Arby's sponsorship yet, Brooke. We are bound to get Arby's in on this action.
I cannot wait.
Now we've totally gone off the rails. Holy cow.
It is that time of the show, Randy, where the rails just completely obliterate and we just go off of a cliff. But you know, Ross, I know that we don't have a whole lot of time, but we're so glad that you came on the show. I mean, this is amazing for me. I know the listeners are going to eat this up. And I hope people really do dig into the music or go see you. I hope that I get to go see you and relive those old house show days because those are like my favorite times. I mean, I was so drunk, I probably need to relive it because because I probably don't remember a lot of it. But man,
It's probably better to not remember it. But kind of funny talking about you, Plack Blague, being on Sesame Street. There is a video. So you were talking about children's kids shows that Plack Blague was on, but there was a show I was on called Chicago, based out of Chicago, and it kind of is like it's like Sesame Street Soul Train. And I did a little bit of an interview with a rat puppet, and I performed on that show. So you can see Plack Blague on Chicago on YouTube, and that's the children's television show I performed on, and that was like 15 years ago now, I think, or almost 15 years ago, a good 10 years ago.
Well, look, this show is all about featuring different genres, different artists, and basically just, emphasizing what we have here in Lincoln and Nebraska in this area. And you're just another perfect example of, what we have here and keep creating music, and everybody is just, they're so stuck in a box. It's just nice to know that we've got, artists out there doing what you're doing, really.
Yeah, thanks. I love people ask me all the time why I live in Nebraska, and it's always like, well, it's easy for me to live here, but really, like, I love Lincoln, and Lincoln has so much punk history to it, going back to like the late 70s, which has well documented books and zines like Capital Punishment. And there was tons of things photographed here and lots of people documenting everything. And so I still just like keeping that weirdness to Lincoln alive. And like, I really just love that for some reason. It's just, that's what makes me love Lincoln, is like, it's always had this background and history of just being different and being creative and being underground in that sense too. So I just like to keep that alive in my little town of Lincoln.
well, a lot of people think that Lincoln is just cover bands and all this, and they don't. There's people out there that don't even realize, Ross, that I mean, this whole scene is has been huge for years. This whole scene is massive in Lincoln, and it really does define the bands that we have in, and that's why it's refreshing to talk to people like yourself because you're in the scene. You've been in the scene forever. You've seen the scene grow, and you've actually been a part of making sure that some of these musicians out there, their parents, they're now in punk bands and their parents were in punk bands and their parents were
Yeah.
in shows. So that's got to be pretty cool, right? I mean, I haven't defined a scene with what I've done, but a guy like you has.
Yeah, I think it's cool. Like, I do meet kids that are in punk bands now, and I'm like, how do you know what this is? Oh, my mom knows who you are. You know my parents. And you're like, who are your parents? And then they'll say, and you're like, oh my God, yes, I definitely know them. But it's cool. I love hanging out with people of all ages too. So like I love meeting like the new punk kids in town that are throwing shows. There's like new like weird pop-up kind of rental venues they've been doing punk shows at. And I also still like hanging out with like the old punks in town. They're still going to shows in their 60s, and like they're just as cool and important to me as the young kids keeping this stuff alive, because I like watching some 65-year-old guy who was the main punk booking guy in Lincoln in the 80s still coming to shows and supporting kids that are still keeping that alive. And I that's where I fall in. I'm like in between all that, and I just like I took it in myself, and I kind of let it go to the younger generation too, as I started like touring a lot more and stuff like that.
Shoot,
I'm just happy to see it.
it was just a couple months ago. We did a reunion show for the old drumstick, and we had one of
Yeah.
the old punk bands perform at Kelly's, and Cain looked over at me. I'm like, oh my God, yes. Like, where has this scene been? Those guys
Yeah.
still rocked it. And like, we were in heaven that day.
Yeah, I mean, Lincoln just has brought so much weird music. Like Power of the Spoken Word was an early 80s hardcore band where the singer was so intimidating to people, but he would be covered in leather and spikes and a spiked like cod piece and stuff. And then in the 90s brought Armatron, and they were like a weird noise heavy grindcore band with a dancing robot on stage. And that stuff just blows my mind still. And I love that. I love weirdness in music.
So do I. And you know what, Ross? I have an idea. So Randy, Cain, we're going to find a Quonset. I know some farmers, pig farms, chicken farms, doesn't matter. We're not going to talk about that. But we are going to make another bar, and it's going to be just punk. It's going to be everything that we've ever wanted in Nebraska. But you're going to have to be invited because it's going to be secret. And we're going to feature Plack Blague. Duh. You're going to be our featuring act. And we might have some meat. Because I mean, it's a farm, right? All right, we're
That
gonna
all
make
sounds pretty hot.
we're
Are
gonna
you
make
are you suggesting like a punk speakeasy? Is that what this is?
hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yes, and we're gonna invite all of our friends from P Street and on, everyone from the whole state of Nebraska, and we're gonna have a blast. And I'll make sure that we bring lots of water.
And water too.
Yes.
Well, I feel like this could happen, Brooke, because I think we have a couple venues that I think would be down for creating a scene like this, even for one great night.
Well, at first I thought you were talking about all the small town circuit bars that I played, or like the barns. I was like, Brooke, I've already been in these. But then when you suggested the punk speakeasy, then you had me, Brooke. Then I am gonna wear my leather. I'm gonna smash this body into something that people can get behind, and we're gonna have ourselves a hell of a time.
That's the dress code.
It is. It's called, it's the dad bod and the saggy tit ladies. Jesus, woo. I can't
Works
wait.
for me.
Yes, I even kind of have, I mean, not that I have a hairy chest, but sometimes I got a hair that kind of grows on one tit. And I know a lot of women do. And we're
Cool
gonna
freak
just
hair.
make that happen. Woo. I can't wait.
Well, I'm ready.
Well, Ross, thank you so much for being on the show. We appreciate you. I hope to get you back. If you ever have any massive things coming up, I would love to share it with the listeners out there and get you back on the show. But like all good things, this good thing, unfortunately, I know, wipe your eyes, everybody. It has to come to an end. So tune in next week for another massive guest, just like we had on this one. And please, by all means, everybody, don't be afraid to let your freak flag fly and be yourself out there. So with that being said, we'll catch you on the flip side, and we'll catch you next week here on
Scratch the vinyl.
All right. What an interview. What a show. That was awesome with Raws Schlesinger of Plack Blague. Check those guys out. And man, just support the local punk scene and the electronic scene. I love it. So let's talk about our sponsors right now. Let's not waste the sauce, everybody. So first off, let's start with Roots Music Shop. I can't stress it enough. If you aren't cool and you're looking to be cool, then I suggest going there and grabbing yourself a guitar or some instrument, and your instant cool level goes up. I mean, if a guy like me can get chicks, I think that you can. You know what I'm saying? I mean, ask my wife. Like, she would have never went for a guy like me if I wasn't playing instruments and playing in bands and hanging out. She was not going to put up with that. So go to Ritz Music Shop, everybody, and get those instruments. Lil Bill's Barbecue. I can't say it enough, everybody. It's 8 of the best flavors of your life. You got to go to Facebook. You got to be exclusive to them on Facebook, on their page, and they will get you hooked up. Put in that order. It's a sauce that you can afford. It's the best sauce around. I've been telling you guys for a while now. I'm going to be honest with you. I've even been putting it in my car, and I've been getting better gas mileage than ever before. So I've been drinking it. I've been inserting it into my muscles. and I am just sauced, literally, and ready to go. So Lil Bill's Barbecue, you got to go to Facebook, find them, and get that sauce. Tell them that Scratch and Vinyl sent you. American Senior Benefits, Jason, oh my gosh, to gosh. Yes, that's right. Ask for him, the man with the plan. He'll get you hooked up with the best plan that you could possibly imagine at American Senior Benefits. We want to thank the Elegant Sasquatch for always putting up with us, letting us do these kooky commercials, and just promoting that great beard smell, not those smelly egg beards that some of you guys out there have. You guys got to get this product, I swear to you. Go to their page on Etsy at Elegant Sasquatch Beard Co. at Etsy.com, and you can get yourself all that great product too. Slaying Tattoo, stop leaving yourselves with these ridiculous tattoos that you want to cover up. Go there, talk to Bryce, get that tribal tattoo turned up, turn it into Freddy with fire or something. Do something cool with those tramp stamps. Gotta go. I suggest a target or a dolphin or something. So do what you gotta do. But that's all the show we have, everybody. Tune in next week here on Scratch the Vinyl.